My name is Allison Frederick. I am a candidate for my master's in curriculum and instruction, teaching technology, and it is August 6th, yes, and this is my stakeholder presentation.
Hi, I'm Christine Torres. I teach at Odessa Middle School. I'm on the exploratory team.
I'm Julie Begeman. I also teach at Odessa Middle School, and I'm also on the exploratory team too.
Hi, I'm Bethany Bird. I teach at Odessa Middle School and I am on the exploratory team.
Okay, so my research question for my master's class was, will giving middle school students 15 minutes of dedicated typing time per class period over the course of 2 weeks improve their speed and accuracy as measured by the typing program? So, of course, you all are familiar with our students. We have a rural school district. We have some students who have technology at home, but many that do not. And so even though our 8th graders are issued Chromebooks that they can take home, some of them don't have internet access and can't utilize any of those things when they are not here at school with the internet. So we have a pretty small class teacher to student ratio here. I had 20 students in this particular class that participated in this research question with me. And they had an opportunity to type in my class every day for 2 weeks. The first 15 minutes, they come in, they do a daily check-in with me that they do every single day, some type of, and then they would automatically go into typing.com and start their typing. And typing.com calculates the typing for them. It tells them when they're done with 15 minutes. It actually takes a little bit longer because a lot of them like to play around while they're on there. But that's one of the things I'll talk about, is that typing.com is beneficial because it has that gaming piece to it, and kids really enjoy the games. So again, I had 28th grade students. I had 7 boys and 13 girls in my computer literacy class. This was my first block of the day, 4th quarter. Okay, so for this project, the data was all collected by typing.com, so that's really, really handy. Typing.com developed the pre-test and the post-test. It was the same. They had to type the same thing at the beginning of the 2 weeks and at the end of the 2 weeks. So what they did was they would come in every day, do their check-in, do their 15 minutes of typing, and then we would go on with our lesson for that day. And I've always done typing in my classes, but I wanted to see if giving them that concentrated time daily rather than spread out randomly throughout the quarter, if that would improve their typing. So students would work through the lessons that are built into typing.com. They address posture, they address the order of the keys and which fingers they should use on each key, and it tests them on all of that. So I use several sources for my research, but embedding that posture instruction, according to Read 2023, embedding that posture instruction in what they're doing helps a lot, and it makes it stick with them more when they're doing it all the time. So typing.com does utilize games, and gamification is an important piece of this because middle schoolers really just want to play games. That's really all they want to do in my class. So working the typing into that makes it more enjoyable for them, and it feels like less work for me because they are having a good time and they complain less about it. So Fodor and Varga did say that students showed noticeable improvements in their 10 typing finger abilities, which 10 finger typing is what I use, when they get the opportunity to play games. So after 2 weeks of practicing for 15 minutes each day, the students took the same test that they took at the pre-test. They took the same one as the post-test, and then typing.com completed the data for me. So these are the results of my study. So each of these numbers down here represents a student, and so almost every student improved their typing, and this is their words per minute. So that's just how quickly they are typing. And so almost all of them improved it. There was one student who did not as well, who did 1 word less per minute than they did before, but I think that's bound to happen. Some kids have good days and some, just like all of us, we have good days and bad days. So then that's what that shows. And then this shows that the accuracy, because that's an important part. They love to type fast, like typing one character over and over, but that doesn't really show any kind of understanding of how it works. And so the accuracy growth was actually very good. 18 of them became more accurate, 1 stayed the same, and 1 declined. The same student actually who declined on the words per minute. So my guess is they weren't putting their best effort into it that day, or could be anything, but I figure you always have to throw out the high and the low numbers, and that's what you get in the middle is what's important. So after we did those 15 minutes of dedicated typing practice over 2 weeks, measurable improvement was shown, and it wasn't a ton, but it was only 2 weeks, and it was only 15 minutes a day. Of course, they're typing in other classes, like not just in here, but they do typing, not, practice typing, but typing on Google Docs or whatever they're doing. So I'm pleased with this. I do think that there's opportunity to show more growth with them. So it does, again, it shows that they improved their words per minute and overall improved their words per minute and overall improved their accuracy. Ertl said that weekly computer usage of more than 2 hours played a significant role in helping students. So I gave them about 1 hour and 15 minutes worth of extra typing, but I think between all their classes, they probably hit that 2 hours without much problem. Even after they were done typing with me, they did other things on the computer. So while it wasn't strictly practicing technique, they were still using the computer and the keyboard. Further implementations, so I do wonder if I did it for longer, if more, would be improved, if they would show greater gains in speed and accuracy. Wondering if they will maintain that when they go to the high school. I don't know if that will carry over. I'm curious to talk to my colleagues over at the high school to see if they see an improvement in their typing. And I wonder how the students feel about it, if they think it was worth it, if they think their hunt and peck method is just fine and they don't need it. I'd be curious to talk to them and how they feel about seeing that they have improved. So knowing that students' typing speed and accuracy improved, I think they would benefit from being given daily practice. I can't do it just in my class, obviously, because I have other things to teach, but it does make me think about how I could do that since I see 4 different quarters of kids, see how I can improve that across the board with them. So I did use about 7 resources for mine, and some of the ones that I thought were most effective were by Ada et al. In 2020, he wrote an article that said using practical technique and improving student typing skills. So that was helpful, I thought, and fit with my research really well. And then there was an article titled The Importance of Keyboarding for Students, which I definitely believe that it's a really important thing. Kids are used to texting on their phone, and they don't learn to put their hands in the right places, and it can really speed things up and make it easier. That was really why I wanted to ask this question, because I want them to get better so they can be more productive. So, do you all have any questions for me?
I have a question. So this was 4th quarter, you said, right?
It was, yes.
So do you think if it was 1st or 2nd quarter, because it's 8th grade, they're going into high school in 4th quarter, they're done kind of at that time of the year. 1st or 2nd quarter, do you think might have been a little more growth than it was doing in 4th quarter?
I would hope so. I think that's really interesting. And if I implement this again, I'll be starting it here in August. So it would be interesting to see if these 8th graders, of course it's a different group, but because they seem a little bit more invested at the beginning of the year versus the end when they have checked out. So I do think that would be really interesting to see, but I think that's a great idea to move it forward, to try it at a different time of the year.
Do you think that if you implement the typing every day instead of your questions, I know you like your daily check-in things, but if you did the typing instead, do you think you would see more improvement?
Maybe. I find so much value in those daily things because it gives them a chance to give me other information about themselves and feedback. But it's possible. I only have 41 minutes. We're all limited to the same kind of time, and it does make it more difficult, but I think it's possible that would, and then I would be able to get more done with my lesson. So that's certainly something I could look at. Any other questions? All right. Thank you guys for attending my poster. All right.